Have you ever gone through heartbreak of ending a relationship by selecting distance to help your injured heart, followed by, surprisingly, they return to? Is it just a coincidence, or are you? There are more profound explanations for it that we've never taken into account if you're interested in the covert reasons for this return. Consequently, this video is for together. We'll investigate 7 intriguing explanations about this phenomena. As seen from the viewpoint of Stoicism, is a way of thinking that helps us deal with the highs and lows of life with composure and strength. Please subscribe to the channel immediately. Don't pass up the upcoming thrilling films, and let's unravel the secrets of the human spirit collectively. Remember to finish watching this video in order to obtain a deeper comprehension of the 7 unexpected causes. 6. When you make the decision to take charge and establish a curious distance, as the paradox develops, they begin to sense that your absence's magnetic pull means you're not. By leaving them, you're taking back your independence, allowing them to explore what, without you in it, life is like. Abruptly understand that your presence wasn't merely a fortuitous event or a ease of use, but a source of security and unspoken peace, is something they are unable to endure without outside. Suppose they carry on with their regular routines, yet there's a disturbing void. The affectionate sentiments that linger stop their world and their familiar voice are gone, feels more alone and cold, and they attempt to fill the gap with fresh relationships, diversions, yet nothing can take your place in the silent moments when they start to recognize your actual importance. Your absence turns into a mirror reflecting constantly. They always took you for granted. When you were appreciated, they weren't. There is a claiming that being apart causes the heart to develop affectionate, but also hidden from view. Remember that the former rings true in this instance. By establishing some distance, you've unintentionally allowed them the opportunity to genuinely sense the impact of your absence, on understand what they've lost, and to how much they value you. So let's keep going, my dear friends. Travel with a strong, I declare that I am a free spirit. Let's write it loudly in the comments section below. The world is aware of your value. Show them that you are not anyone's puppet. You've taken back the authority, that you remain steadfast and strong in your value. It's time to start this exploration of oneself and conquering new elevations combined. They form an intriguing paradox. In sometimes, love is the distance you purposefully produce, can spark an even more love fire in the center of the lady you. When you choose to take a step back, cherish it. Putting some distance between you and her, the mind may go through a procedure known as idealization, in which your favorable qualities are exaggerated and adverse experiences. Imagine that you've made the decision to take a brief break from the partnership may possibly benefit both of you. Time to reflect or deal with some personal matters in face-to-face interactions become infrequent instead than unusual. Short phone conversations and messages in these. When she is separated, her thoughts begin to illustrating an image of you in which she remembers you're nearly flawless. The way you made her grin warmly, laugh out loud at the generosity, and I felt it was lovely that you showed her. Her head is filled with recollections, with sweet arguments versus emotions, miscommunications, or instances in which you were impatient seem to disappear into thin air. This isn't intentional neglect or self-deception, is a normal process of the human mind assisting us in managing, when separated, emptiness and longing from family members, particularly when the other person initiates the separation. When we are unable to meet in person, we tend to emphasize the positive aspects of joyful recollections to sustain an emotional relationship and cultivate optimism for a better. This process of idealization can help you in a number of first. It enables her to keep This gives her a favorable impression of you, is particularly important when the distance is your fault, because it may cause her to leave feeling offended and having concerns about your emotions. Picture a play you're familiar with, once perceived as a puppet in the hands of someone, a presence that is always taken for granted, prepared to meet all of their needs. Need they think you'll be there forever? That way, it's always predictable, a trustworthy individual, but you make the decision to revise the script, rather than simply leave the stage after spending time there. Growing behind the scenes of training change, and when the velvet drape rises once more, and you leave without an inanimate puppet from the past, but a brand new person gleaming, shining brightly in the spotlight, they are left speechless by the transformation. Hardly identifying you in the myriad of characters, now is the time you take back command of your own story. No, stop letting other people define your value or direct your behavior. You've invested in oneself, fostered development in everything, and you now walk with assurance. First on your own 2 feet, they may reject this change. They believe you're merely going through a stage, that you'll soon go back to your previous ways, recognizable picture they cling to. But then your transformation becomes indisputable, like a fresh melody that breaks the tedium. They anticipated the same old song in quiet. However, what they receive is entirely new, forceful, self-assured, and vibrant tune. This surprise feels like a shock of electricity, waking them up from their slumber. Why is this surprise so important? Sleep. Since it goes right to the heart of human psychology, we yearn for things that are out of reach. And what we're not entirely recognize, when you become an entirely other version of yourself, that they no longer feel as though they own, you discovered that you have broken their predetermined notion of you and the present. It's them who are having trouble keeping up. They must see you because of this change in power, in an entirely different and respectful way and appreciation, and all of a sudden they're the ones feeling unsure and uneasy, like a bird that has been released from its gilded cage. You can now fly. The great sky has transformed you from a puppet on strings, yet a self-sufficient person who can ascertain your personal life. With this newfound self-assurance, as well as independence, not only amaze others, but also effectively captivate them. Since in the end, there is nothing more appealing than a lover, and values' second idealization of self increases her want to see you once more. As she highlights your positive traits, she longs to be with you and misses you more. With you, this anticipation can provide favorable enthusiasm that drives her to aggressively look for how to repair the connection in the complex labyrinth, emotional feeling, and occasionally the actual distance. You purposefully make it possible to fan the love's flames are burning even more brightly in the woman's heart, that you treasure these fascinating paradox discoveries. The scarcity's explanation principle, a fascinating psychological idea indicating that people have a tendency to give greater weight to what they consider to be scarce or restricted in respect to a relationship. This idea can have a significant effect on a woman's actions and feelings in particular, once you've established a certain amount of distance. Imagine that you used to be constantly by her side, easily meeting all of her. Your presence became so necessary and desired, familiar and essential component of her everyday existence, yet eventually you make a decision to take a step back and leave a hole. No more sending goodnight SMS every night, frequent weekend dates that work for you, presence and focus once taken for granted, abruptly become limited, as valuable as glistening diamonds. This scarcity arouses a deep sense of feeling of gratitude. She starts to acknowledge the significance of common private discussions, and even such cozy embraces she may possess. Previously ignored desire for you intrudes into all of her thoughts, causing her long to hear and feel your voice once more, your warmth. Additionally, scarcity evokes a subtle, Her people's fear of loss is naturally terrified of losing what's significant, and when you distance yourself, she may have the impulse to take immediate action to prevent your absence from ever being lost. Makes it clear that love is not a given, that it requires care and safe. A shroud of mystery is also cast by distance. Peeing her during the relationship, she becomes curious and begins to wonder what's occurring, regardless of whether you currently have, why you decided to do so, and your feelings for her make distance that this interest may cause her to actively look for details regarding your show. Curiosity in your life, and make an effort to reconnect even more with this scarcity, breaks the potential for complacency in a committed partnership when a partner feels so safe that they may quit putting endeavor to foster the relationship. But when you put distance between you and her, she has to reconsider your importance in her life and think again about the way she has handled you. Shift can assist her in understanding what perhaps they were taking things for granted, and encourage her to transform into a better. In conclusion, partner scarcity, when utilized with expertise and sincerity, it may be a strong catalyst that is rekindling the names of love and life-giving into the partnership. It benefits her in addition to value you more, but it also invokes good feelings such as curiosity and yearning with a wish for change. But never forget that genuine love is founded not only on scarcity, but also on mutual respect, trust, and adherence to this principle. Sensibly and consistently give priority to the contentment of both of you, because ultimately the goal of producing with each other distance is not to game others' feelings, but to give you both an opportunity to think, develop, and create a more resilient and robust. Rather than waning, love distance can work as a magical catalyst on occasion, bringing up the most exquisite memories of love when you are no longer with her together. Her thoughts will stray daily. Returning to the treasured sweet moments, recollections that the two of you mentioned that it might be the first date under two hearts are shown in the gentle yellow lights. Beaten in together, it can be the beach excursion, with golden sands, white sands, and blue water's sunshine, in which the sounds of laughter blended with the softly slapping the waves, or it can just be quiet. Walking hand in hand down in the nights every day, familiar streets are shared. Narratives every minute, no matter how small, is meticulously kept within her treasure trove remembrance. When you're separated by distance, recollections play like a movie in slow motion. Your smile is brighter and more genuine than before. Your speech and eyes both become quite clear. And near she'll grin as she recalls the dumb jokes you told, pleasant feeling as she remembers the tight hugs, and her heart on chilly winter days will hurt when she recalls the genuine love-filled thoughts for you once spoke by revisiting these lovely memories. She's not only going over the past, while also fortifying the invisible connection between you. Each of the two treasured moments was revisited. Recalled memory acts as a reminder of love, of the beautiful's relationship, items you created together, and possibly in. During those quiet moments, she will understand that love is merely a test and distance is eternal. Despite the fact that you can't be together, the lovely memories will always serve as the link that brings both of your hearts closer. Followed by the reunion day arrived, and it seemed like a scene in slow motion, for every aspect of you engraved in her recall that the difference between you was unquestionably the shy boy who constantly looked for safety behind her shadow. Now you entered the room with glowing assurance, as though the entire world had reduced in size to fit within your look. There's almost a mystical quality. Regarding lack of confidence, it has the ability to alter perception's dynamics and produce an enticing charm when you're sure you're not. Not only alter how other people perceive you, but also how you perceive. You may feel that change in yourself. Everyone in your vicinity, as the distinguished Ralph Waldo, a writer and philosopher, According to Emerson, self-confidence is the initial secret of success. Your increased self-assurance comes from that confidence derived from understanding that you are capable, deserving, and worthy of everything positive that life has to offer. When you have confidence in yourself, you don't require clearance from others, and genuine confidence lies there. Comes from this confidence that released like a newly discovered light from you, capturing everyone's attention at once. They were now steady and avoiding hers. Having a rich inner world and being profound, formerly timid and quiet, now beaming as though wishing to convey vitality, delight to everyone in your vicinity, and your manner, previously apprehensive and shy, now emanated courage and determination. Abandoning her startled and a little, you were enthralled and no longer the boy, who consistently concurred with her every choice, but you stood tall instead, clearly communicating your ideas, and you boldly expressed your opinions with self-assurance without fear. Or this shift made her understand that she was hesitant, that you had grown up and discovered your own voice and prepared to stand up for what you believed in. Your increased self-assurance not only shocked her, but it also gave rise to a new appreciation and wonder within. She started to perceive you differently. Light as a self-sufficient, powerful, and charming man, this favorable change in you might make her acknowledge what she might have overlooked and revive feelings she believed were. In that instant, you weren't dormant, just the guy she used to adore, but also a very different individual, a self-assured, and her heart skipped a beat as she saw him. A beat again, and maybe this, your newly discovered self-assurance, would be the secret of opening the door of a love that is more profound and enduring, based on mutual respect, trust, and adoration. After you departed, her life began to feel empty, like an essential component extracted from an ideal puzzle. Your absence makes her wonder, "What did I do?" she asked. "Incorrect. Why didn't I see his value?" Earlier recollections of the moments you assisted. She overcame obstacles with the meals you ready following a long workday, the words of support you provided while she went down. All have now turned into priceless memories. She is unable to revisit things that she used to take for granted, are now items she longs for. Returning this procedure of self-reflection is more than just recognizing errors. It's a deep awakening to the worth of a person she once undervalued. She starts to sense the anguish of knowing she's lost something, perhaps very significant in her life. She was preoccupied with unimportant things, small arguments that failed to notice the larger picture and neglecting shared treasure, the positive aspects you brought. And now is the time when regret comes flooding back, like a tidal wave washing through her, removing all of her prior self-assurance, and she remembers lost chances with pride. To tell you how much she loves you. She remembers moments when she adored you. She was careless and didn't pay attention to you, didn't value your. She wishes she could resume her work in time to change how things are done, in order to hold you, claim that she would never let you go. However, the harsh reality prevents her from to go back in time, which causes the regret even more regretful. But it's not always adverse. It might serve as inspiration for her to transform into a better person. Someone with the ability to love and treasure more when she acknowledges her errors. She frequently seeks an opportunity to make amends. She wishes to demonstrate her transformation and will not make the same mistakes. She may choose to express regret to you, her regret and wish to put things right. Yes, she could compose a sincere letter, expressing her realizations and what she is prepared to do in order to obtain a second chance. But if you accept her express regret and provide her with an opportunity to making apologies, depends on how you feel and choice. You may feel offended and decide not to go, return, or you may see a real shift in and choose to give you both a new begin, whatever you decide, and keep that in mind. Think this technique has aided in her development and acknowledge the importance of true love introspection. Regret for the past. Errors are two normal occurrences that she may feel when she discovers your worth, someone she had previously taken for granted. Although these feelings can be unpleasant, they moreover give her a chance to learn, develop, and improve individual if she is able to correct her. Her genuineness determines her blunders, real shift in behavior and mindset, and in any event, this process of forgiveness helps her recognize the significance of valuing those in her immediate vicinity before it is too late. 6. There you have it, my 7 amigos. Strong arguments for why making a small, sometimes the unexpected, is distance. The secret to reconnecting is to keep in mind absence does not necessarily mean the end of a narrative. Frequently it's just the turning a page that opens a chapter with a newfound depth of comprehension, desire, and a tried and true love, and bolstered over time. And if you're in an area where circumstance, don't give up when you've retreated. Consider it an opportunity to encourage your own development and rediscover, invest in yourself, and follow your own passion. Follow your passions and accept the voyage of finding oneself makes you the most radiant, a true representation of yourself pleased to be. And who knows that exactly change that has given me newfound confidence, and the magnetic force may be self-love. Energy that entices people to rejoin keep their eyes open for the loot as they orbit. They nearly forgot how valuable you are. Not characterized by the incapacity of others, you are capable of being a star to recognize it, of shining brilliantly by yourself. Thus continue shining, keep expanding, and have faith that the appropriate people will always be attracted to you. Illuminate their hearts as they return. To the brightness and warmth that are used exclusively, I appreciate you coming along on this trip with me, of comprehending the intricacies of human link. Until the next time, continue to love, keep learning, and above all, keep being loyal to oneself.